Hey Cowboys Nation, today we're talking about a story that hits far beyond the X's and O's, beyond the touchdowns and tackles, and dives straight into the human side of the game we all love. There are moments in sports that remind us that the athletes we watch week in and week out are more than just players on a field. They're sons, brothers, friends, and teammates, living lives full of highs and lows just like anyone else. Today, we are facing one of those moments, a moment that is heartbreaking and difficult to process for anyone who has been following the Dallas Cowboys, and especially for those who had the chance to know Marzan Nelland, a young man whose energy, drive, and passion were evident both on and off the football field. Marzan was 24 years old, a promising athlete who had begun to make his mark in the league, and he carried with him a spirit that inspired those around him. Tragically, his life ended far too soon, leaving an emptiness that is hard to put into words for his family, friends, teammates, and the entire Cowboys community. Marzan's story, while heartbreaking, also reminds us of the complex pressures and challenges that professional athletes face today. We often see the games, the highlights, and the celebrations, but rarely do we see the moments of vulnerability, the internal battles, and the personal struggles that are part of the human experience. According to reports, in the early hours of November 5th, law enforcement responded to a situation involving Marzan after a pursuit led to a vehicle crash. Officers searched the surrounding area with all available resources, including K-9 units and drones, and later found that Marzan had taken his own life. This revelation is gut-wrenching, and it has left everyone connected to him grappling with shock, grief, and a need to find answers that, in many ways, may not exist. In the face of this tragedy, the response from the Cowboys organization has been heartfelt and compassionate. Statements from the team emphasized their deep sorrow, extending thoughts and prayers to Marzan's girlfriend, his family, and his teammates. They recognized Marzan not only as a player, but as a beloved member of their organization, someone who had a lasting impact on everyone who interacted with him. In his short life, Marzan was described as kind, humble, determined, and full of love, someone whose light shone brightly in every room he entered. Those qualities, of course, are not always captured in the statistics or highlight reels, but they are the qualities that truly define a person and leave an indelible mark on the people around them. The Nelland family released a statement expressing their devastation, emphasizing the tremendous loss they feel and the deep grief that accompanies it. They spoke of Marzan's role as a devoted son, brother, uncle, cousin, nephew, and friend, and highlighted how special he was off the field, in addition to the promise he showed as a professional athlete. Their words remind us that behind every jersey number is a life that touches countless others, and that the heartbreak we feel as fans is intertwined with the personal grief of those who knew him best. The statement also called for privacy, a space for the family to process their sorrow while honoring Marzan's memory and legacy. For the team and his fellow players, this loss hits on multiple levels. Some of the Cowboys roster members, including Dak Prescott and Solomon Thomas, have faced similar personal tragedies in the past, and their experiences may give them unique insight into how to navigate grief while supporting those around them. The team's coaching staff has also been recognized for their ability to handle difficult situations with empathy and care, focusing on supporting their players and ensuring that the entire organization has the resources it needs to cope with such a sudden and tragic event. Even in moments of personal pain, there's a reminder that sports organizations are communities, networks of people who rely on one another for strength, and who come together to provide support when it is needed most. In times like this, it is also important to acknowledge the broader conversation about mental health, not just within sports, but in our communities as a whole. The NFL Players Association and other support networks have reiterated the importance of reaching out for help, leaning on those you trust, and recognizing that no one is alone, even when life feels overwhelming. Marzan's death, as devastating as it is, serves as a reminder of the pressures that young athletes face and the importance of mental health resources for everyone. The visibility of this tragedy can serve as a platform to encourage conversations, support systems, and understanding, emphasizing that reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Marzan's teammates, coaches, and friends are now tasked with carrying on his memory, honoring his spirit, and supporting one another through the pain of his loss. The Cowboys have a bye week, which means the facility is quieter than usual, and while the team has the chance to regroup and reflect, the emotional impact is felt intensely throughout the organization. Social media has already seen outpourings of support, messages of love, and reminders to check in on friends and loved ones. These gestures, while small in comparison to the depth of grief, serve as important reminders of community, connection, and the power of compassion. As we discuss this today, it is crucial to remember that sports are about more than victories, losses, and statistics. They're about people, human beings with dreams, struggles, and emotions that often go unseen. Marzan Nelland's life, though tragically short, exemplified many of these qualities, and his presence touched countless lives. While the Cowboys organization and the NFL community grapple with this loss, the story of Marzan is one that calls for reflection, empathy, and action, reminding us that supporting each other and valuing mental health are as essential as any game plan or training regimen. For fans watching, it is a moment to pause and remember the human side of the game, to reach out to those you care about, and to acknowledge that sometimes the most important victories are not measured in points, but in love, support, and presence. Marzan's legacy is more than just the plays he made on the field. It is the kindness he showed, the relationships he built, and the light he brought into the lives of everyone around him. Today, Cowboys Nation grieves with his family, friends, teammates, and everyone whose life he touched, and in doing so, we honor the memory of a young man whose impact will not be forgotten. Even as we navigate through this sadness, there is an opportunity for the conversation to grow, for awareness to increase, and for the community to strengthen its bonds. Moments like this, while heartbreaking, also highlight the importance of connection, empathy, and support systems in sports and in life. The story of Marzan Nelland reminds us all that behind every helmet is a human story, and that the values of compassion, understanding, and love are what truly endure, far beyond the cheers of the crowd or the final score on the board. As we continue to process this tragedy, it's important to look at how the Dallas Cowboys, the NFL, and the broader football community are stepping up to provide support, not just for themselves, but for anyone affected by Marzan Nelland's passing. The reality is that grief in professional sports can be particularly intense because the bonds formed in locker rooms, during training, and throughout the season are incredibly deep. These athletes spend countless hours together, pushing each other to perform at the highest level, and they share not just victories and losses, but personal moments, struggles, and dreams. Losing a teammate like Marzan creates a ripple effect, touching every corner of the organization and reminding us that no matter how tough someone may seem on the field, everyone is vulnerable and everyone needs care and connection. The Cowboys organization immediately addressed this loss with statements emphasizing compassion and unity. Coaches, teammates, and staff are focusing on supporting one another, checking in on each player, and ensuring that mental health resources are readily available. This is not just about managing grief in the moment. It's about building a structure for long-term care and maintaining the emotional well-being of a team that has been shaken to its core. While the media can report the facts and fans can mourn from a distance, the real work happens behind the scenes, with counseling, personal conversations, and efforts to make sure that no one feels isolated during such a difficult time. These measures are essential in sports because the physical intensity of football often overshadows the emotional and mental pressures that players experience every single day. The NFL Players Association has also been active in providing guidance and resources. They emphasize that navigating grief is not a journey anyone should take alone, and they encourage athletes to lean on one another, to speak openly about their feelings, and to utilize the support systems available to them. The passing of Marzan has highlighted the importance of mental health awareness in professional sports, reminding fans and players alike that the pressures on young athletes can be immense. The league's wellness programs, hotlines, and support networks are critical tools for helping players manage both personal and professional challenges. And in situations like this, They can provide a lifeline for those struggling to cope with sudden loss. Marzan's teammates are now confronted with the challenge of balancing grief with their professional responsibilities, knowing that every week brings training, preparation, and games. It's a delicate balance because the mental and emotional weight of losing a friend can affect focus, performance, and overall well-being. The Cowboys have a strong leadership structure, including coaches who understand the human side of the game, veteran players who can guide their younger teammates, and a culture that encourages empathy and support. This combination creates an environment where players can openly express their emotions, receive guidance, and begin to process what has happened, even while the season continues around them. Social media has also become a space for fans, friends, and fellow athletes to express their grief, offer condolences, and honor Marzan's memory. These messages, while public, serve as small reminders of the sense of community and shared humanity that exists beyond the field. They show that the impact of a player extends far beyond their athletic performance, and that fans feel deeply connected to those who inspire them, both in sports and in life. Every post, every heartfelt message, and every acknowledgement of Marzan's life and spirit reinforces the notion that even in professional sports, the most important victories are often the ones that happen off the field, in relationships, empathy, and connection. It's also worth reflecting on the way tragedies like this can spark meaningful conversations about mental health, not only among players, but in society at large. When someone as young and talented as Marzan Nelland is taken from us so suddenly, it forces us to examine how we care for one another, how we recognize signs of struggle, and how we create support systems that prevent further loss. Awareness is crucial, and by sharing stories like this one, the football community can help destigmatize seeking help, encourage open dialogue, and provide resources for anyone who may be silently struggling. Mental health is as critical as physical health in sports, and the lessons here extend far beyond the Cowboys organization or the NFL. They touch every team, every locker room, and every fan who watches and cares about the human beings behind the game. For Marzan's teammates, every practice, meeting, and game will carry a shadow of his absence. They will remember his determination, his kindness, and the way he inspired others simply by being himself. Leaders on the team will naturally step up to provide guidance, but every player must navigate personal grief in their own way, learning to carry Marzan's memory while continuing to pursue their shared goals. The coaches and staff recognize that supporting players in this moment is not just about morale or performance. It's about recognizing the humanity of the sport, valuing relationships over statistics, and understanding that the emotional health of a team is inseparable from its success on the field. The NFL as a whole is also responding with empathy, offering counseling resources and ensuring that the Dallas Cowboys have access to every available form of support. The league statements have expressed profound sadness and highlighted the importance of community in times of loss. In addition to organizational support, players across the league are reflecting on their own experiences, reaching out to teammates, friends, and loved ones, and reaffirming the importance of staying connected and checking in on one another. This collective response underscores the reality that football is more than a game. It is a network of people who share not just competition, but humanity, and who recognize that each individual's life matters beyond the scoreboard. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Rumors are swirling in Dallas, and the latest whisper has sent shockwaves through the Cowboys fan base. CeeDee Lamb, the star wide receiver whose hands have been seemingly glued to the end zone all season, has allegedly sent a message that's igniting speculation. If he's coming back, then you don't need me. The cryptic remark, reportedly made in an off-the-record interview, has set tongues wagging and social media on fire, with fans and analysts alike trying to decipher exactly what Lamb meant and who he might be. Sources close to the situation suggest the comment may refer to a potential return of a key Cowboys figure, possibly someone whose presence could shake up the offensive dynamics. Whether it's a quarterback, a veteran wideout, or even a coach, the ambiguity is fueling wild conjecture. Could Lamb be signaling frustration at a looming shakeup? Or is he simply playing mind games with the rumor mill? Either way, the remark has not gone unnoticed by the NFL community. The timing couldn't be more tantalizing. Lamb has been pivotal for the Cowboys, his explosive routes and clutch catches keeping Dallas competitive in a season where consistency has been scarce. To hear him seemingly question his role, especially in such a bold, unapologetic way, raises questions about the locker room chemistry and the team's immediate future. Insiders speculate that front office executives may now be in damage control mode, balancing Lamb's undeniable talent against whatever high-profile return is being hinted at. Fans are divided, with some rallying behind Lamb, interpreting his words as a sign of loyalty and competitiveness, a player unwilling to settle for a diminished role. Others see it as a potential warning of unrest, a dramatic flare that could presage trade talks or contract tensions. Either way, the quote has become the latest wildfire in Cowboys discourse, dominating sports shows and social feeds with fervor. One thing is certain, whenever CeeDee Lamb speaks, the NFL listens. Whether this is the beginning of a new chapter of bold declarations, or merely the kind of cryptic banter that fuels off-season rumor mills, remains to be seen. But for now, Dallas fans are left holding their breath, parsing every syllable and wondering, is this a message to the team, a warning to the league, or just Lamb being Lamb? The Cowboys may need to move carefully. After all, keeping a star happy can be as tricky as defending him on the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.